Would you believe that the pet sprawled out on your couch right now, waiting for you to rub its belly every night, is the direct descendant of one of the most terrifying predators to ever exist on Earth? Not a lion, not a tiger, a wolf. And the story of how a furry monster, capable of ripping a deer apart in minutes, turned into a creature that licks your face every morning, is stranger than you think. Because the truth is, humans never went out and captured wolves to raise them. It was the exact opposite. So, what actually happened? Stay till the end of this video because you'll never look at your dog the same way again. Let's rewind a little. You're standing in the middle of a freezing winter night about 35,000 years ago. No electricity, no walls, no locked doors. Just a small fire and vast darkness all around you. And out there, a pair of eyes is staring straight at you. Your heart is pounding, because the owner of those eyes weighs nearly 40 kilograms, has a jaw twice as strong as a house dog's, and could take you down in a heartbeat if it wanted to. But it doesn't attack. It just stands there, watching, waiting. Sounds chilling, doesn't it? But this is exactly the moment where one of the strangest relationships in evolutionary history began. Now, who do you think made the first move here? Brave humans capturing wolf cubs to tame them? Dead wrong. Scientists believe it was the wolves themselves who made the first move. Sounds crazy, right? Let me explain why. Back then, humans lived in small bands, hunting and gathering, and every time they brought down a large animal, they only took the good meat, leaving the bones, fat, and organs scattered around camp. To humans, that was just trash, but to a pack of wolves starving through a brutal winter, that was a free feast right at their doorstep. The problem was, not every wolf dared to get close. In every wolf pack, there were always the timid ones, the ones who bolted at the first whiff of human scent. And there were always a few bolder ones, willing to creep toward the fire to scavenge scraps. Guess what happened next? Those bolder wolves ate better, lived healthier, and had more pups. And their pups inherited that exact same trait, a little less fear of humans. Generation after generation, with no one planning it, no one training it, nature quietly selected for wolves that grew friendlier and friendlier toward humans. Sounds made up, doesn't it? But hold on, there's a real-world experiment that proves this, and it's fascinating enough that you'll want to tell your friends about it immediately. In 1959, in freezing Siberia, a scientist named Dmitry Belyaev decided to run a wild experiment. He raised a large population of wild silver foxes, and in every generation he only bred the least aggressive, least fearful individuals. No training, no taming, just selecting for friendliness. How long do you think it took to see results? 100 years? 500 years? Wrong on both counts. In fewer than 10 generations, just a few decades, the fox pups started wagging their tails like house dogs, licking their handlers' hands, and their ears even started flopping down softly instead of standing erect like their wild ancestors. Nature took thousands of years to do what humans recreated in just a few decades, and archaeological evidence backs this story up too. At a cave site called Goya in Belgium, researchers unearthed a dog-like skull dated to roughly 36,000 years old, with a shorter, wider jaw than wild wolves from the same period. This may well be one of the first dogs in human history. And the craziest part is, all of this happened before humans knew how to farm, before there were villages, long before agriculture even existed. Now, here's the part that'll really make you scratch your head. We love to boast that humans sit at the top of the food chain, the species that tamed the entire natural world. But when it comes to wolves, the truth flips that completely on its head. Humans didn't conquer wolves. Wolves voluntarily stepped out of the darkness, trading away their wild freedom for a safer meal. The predator that once made the entire Ice Age tremble ended up domesticating itself. But don't think this was a one-sided deal, because humans gained enormously from this arrangement too. Wolves have a sense of smell thousands of times sharper than ours, able to detect danger and prey from far away. Tribes that had wolves by their side hunted far more effectively and survived brutal winters far better than tribes that didn't. In other words, this wasn't humans exploiting wolves. It was a mutual win-win partnership that ran through the entire course of human history. And maybe that's exactly why, to this day, you still feel a strange, instinctive trust whenever you look into a dog's eyes. Who knows, buried deep in your evolutionary memory, there might still be a trace of that freezing winter night when a fearsome creature chose not to attack and chose instead to stay by the fire with humans. 15,000 years later, when your dog wags its tail wildly, waiting for you to open the door, you're looking at the descendant of the boldest predators of the Ice Age. Not conquered, but willingly choosing humans, and in doing so, changing the entire course of human history. If this video made you sit there staring at your pet with completely new eyes, don't hold back that like, so I know you found this as fascinating as I did. And if you're curious about other wild evolutionary stories, like why humans are afraid of the dark, or why we love listening to stories around a fire, hit subscribe right now, because the next episode is even wilder than this one. See you in the next video.